Hi guys.
Hi guys.
Sorry about the wind noise and the surf noise and the birds and the palm trees. Hey, we could get hit by coconuts.
Oh my god. Well, if it lands on me, there's
none left.
There's none. We should move under that one. It's got heaps of coconuts. We could get hit. Well, Keith Richards got hit by a coconut.
Well, it wouldn't do any damage to me anyway. There's not much in there anyway. But hi, we're in Fiji.
We forget.
Peter spelled it wrong the other
I spelled it wrong the other day. Forget. Forget.
Yeah. It's quite nice. It's a bit windy though. It wasn't windy this morning.
No, but you're asleep.
I was not asleep. I was awake at 8:10.
Well, I walked out here at 7 o'clock. It was like the water was like glass. I think this would be so beautiful to shoot right now.
Well, we'll
Walk up at 8 o'clock to your room. Ear on door, crickets. Couldn't even hear a thing. Oh, they're still asleep. I get back to my room and get a text message from Rara going, "Can we get up in 20 minutes?"
Well, my phone died in the middle of the night and I woke up in a panic because my phone was dead and my alarm didn't go off because it was dead.
It was dead.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, we've got an Egyptian walking behind us. She was too scared to join in on the pod, but she's going to do the Egyptian behind us. By the way, that was Rara, Riri, Trigger, whatever.
Trigger, whatever.
I hope this wind isn't too bad for you, but
Yeah, true.
we didn't want to sit in our rooms are nice, but it would have been boring.
Yeah. My wind's probably really, because my microphone's exposed.
If you rotate a little bit,
I'll rotate.
so because the wind's coming across,
All right, I'll try and shield
you can just use your left to cover your right. No, your right to cover your left. Just lift your chair a bit. Lift your bottoms. There you go. If you rotate that way,
All right,
that
hopefully.
one girl's covering the other girl.
All right, hopefully it's better.
But now the hair's going to rustle.
No, I'll move the Russell.
Move the Russell Crowe.
Oh, goodness. But yeah, we're here to do shoots and stuffs. This is our third day.
Third day.
It's been nice.
And Bec's been a really big girl.
I went in the ocean.
She flew cattle class.
It was gone to me and I went in the ocean.
She fell asleep on my shoulder and didn't dribble on me.
I'm conquering my fears.
You're conquering. You actually went into ocean water
I know.
that has crabs.
And eels.
And there's no eels there.
There's somewhere there is though.
Eels are freshwater.
No, they're in the ocean. Morays.
Moray eels, yeah, that's a different eel.
They're eels.
They live in rocks. They have big teeth.
Yeah, exactly.
No, they don't live in this sort of water.
They are in the ocean though.
You get the sea snakes in this water.
Again, this is why I don't like
Sea
them.
snakes don't bite people because their mouth is too tiny.
I don't like them.
But if they could bite you, you'd die.
I know, but
What's with him on eyebrow?
I'm trying to fix it. I need to wash my hair. But you know, I just don't trust the ocean.
You don't
It's
trust
so
it.
vast.
We're not in Australia. There's no stingers. There's no.
But somewhere in the ocean there is, and it's all connected, and I just don't trust it. I don't like it.
There's psycho killers somewhere in Australia, and it's all connected. But you still walk out in the street. In fact, psycho killers in America, and you walk the streets at 3 a.m. for rays.
Yeah, that was a few years ago. I was a bit unhinged back then. I'm getting a bit more conservative in my old age.
You've watched too many murder
I'm
murder
listening to too much true crime
docos.
podcasts.
Yeah.
Honestly, I do love my true crime podcast though.
You do love it?
Oh, it's so good. But yeah, sometimes I'm like, wow, there are some really weird people in the world.
Yes, there is some really messed up people in the world.
Yeah.
And you
Including
work,
us.
people that wear Hawaiian shirts.
You popped a button.
Yeah, I did pop a button. Well, I popped a button trying to put the mic on. It's all right.
So funny.
Belly's falling out. I tore the shirt.
Oh no.
It's an expensive.
one?
It's a
Yeah.
good one.
Sugar lumps.
I bet you if I peel off the made in Italian label, it says made in China. They tricked me.
Do they have Hawaiian shirts at the gift shop here? You should get a souvenir.
They do. I've already looked. I'm definitely getting a forget shirt. I should have bought a forget shirt for the podcast.
You should have. That would have been really cute.
But yeah, I'm definitely buying a forget shirt. They look cool.
Cool.
We need to, next time we go to America, we need to go via Hawaii. So I saw a documentary of them in a shop that sells traditional Hawaiian shirts.
That's cute.
And I was there going, I want one of those. And they're actually made in Hawaii. They're not made in China.
That's cute. Rah, rah.
I don't know if the camera can see, but Rara's in the
ocean.
oceans. If we watch very carefully, she'll get dugongs coming to mate with her, I think.
Dugongs.
Or whatever they're called.
Dugongs.
Well, they can't in Australia. They get eaten in Australia, but...
They actually exist.
Yes.
I thought they were a made-up thing.
No, a mermaid is made up. They don't exist. As much as you think you can put a tail on your feet and go out in the ocean, you're not a mermaid.
I'm not going out there. I'm scared of it. I don't like it. It does make my hair look good though.
I did like that. Now you're going to have to write it. You can't write it down. There's a really, really good... The cinematography is to die for. The movie is very, very hard to watch. It's called Lighthouse.
Oh, yeah.
But it has a mermaid in there.
There's a scene with that. I think we spoke about this in one of our first podcasts. We spoke about this.
Yeah, but I'm going really too far with this one. But you actually see what a mermaid vagina looks like.
Okay.
I think it's like a fish vagina. It looks. It's a little bit like a stingray vagina, I think.
I don't know what any of those things look like, but...
Well, we can go find a stingray and you can see if they're a boy or a girl.
We don't have to.
And then you'll know what this... Anyway, but it's not like... It was like very clever how the mermaid who was washed up on the beach, it was like they actually did the details right through. So it wasn't like... A lot of the mermaids you've seen, it's just like a fully scaled thing. You think, well, how'd they poo? They don't have a bum.
Yeah, true.
Right. But this is the first movie I actually saw that they didn't show her bum, so I don't know how she pooed. So it's like prawns. I don't know if they poo out the very bottom of the tail. No, I've been told two different things. Someone said it's a poo tube. Someone else has said it's just their blood vein line.
I don't know.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I leave it in. I like the nutty taste.
Oh, yuck. No, I take it out. No, I've always called it the poo tube. I thought it was their...
But if you look...
But it's connected to their head, though.
I know, that's why I don't think
so
it's
they have shit for
No,
brains?
I don't think it's a... I need to look it up. I haven't... We'd Google it if we had... Who's Rogan? Joe Rogan has someone on the side that Googles something.
Jamie.
I have...
I'll Google it.
I have Beck, but... Oh, she's going to Google it on her phone.
Google it.
You're going to Google it.
I want to find out if it's poo or not.
You want to find out if it's poo. So if it's not poo, will you eat it?
No.
Oh, so what's the difference then?
I've eaten it before and it's got a weird texture.
It's nutty.
I don't like it.
Don't you like it? It's like peanut butter and prawns.
Is the thing in prawns?
The sting in prawns.
Poo.
Any money, it's going to bring up Oakley sunglasses. Google doesn't do...
There are black lines in shrimps commonly referred to as the veins. The simple truth is that these lines are in fact not veins, but digestive tracts containing shrimp poop. It is their poop.
Oh, well...
And you like to eat the poo.
I'm a poo eater.
Wow. I was today years old when I learnt that Peter likes to eat poo.
Peter the poo eater. Peter the prawn poo eater. No, I don't. Everyone else... What? So let's go back. I'm from fishing world.
Are you wearing your little fishing pants?
I'm wearing my fishing pants. Yeah, these are actually my fishing pants to stop me from getting sunburnt and sun.
They didn't stop your forehead from getting sun. You got lines.
Yeah, but I don't put my fishing pants on my head. I normally have a hat, which you left in my car. Anyway, so on the boat, and it was like such a cool life. We lived on a large, like a caravan boat. Like it's hard to explain, but it's a very big caravan, but it's not like those house boats. It's more like a boat, but anyway. And the first thing in the morning, it'd be like 5 or 6 in the morning, a couple of us would jump out, quickly go out and get a couple of mangrove jacks or some fingermark brim, or there's a certain type of fish, a Moses fish, that we would... No, but there are certain fish that are found in the tropics of Australia, and they're the best sushi in the world. So we would shoot out and would get 4 or 5 of these. Now, it'd be nice fish this big. We'd bring them back, they'd go straight on ice, and the chef on board would sushi them up. So when we got back at the end of the day's filming, which is normally about 6 o'clock, while we're washing all our gear off, which you have to, because the salt water just destroys fishing gear. So it'd take us a good 45 minutes to clean the boats out and clean our gear off. But while that's happening, we've got the sushi come out on ice. and it's cut like steak slabs, and it's just to die for.
Yum.
While that's happening, while we're out filming and fishing, the actual crew on the boat would go out and get fresh prawns. And I'm talking prawns this big.
Prawns aren't that big.
Yeah, they're king prawns, they're big tiger prawns, they're wild prawns.
They're not that big.
And banana prawns. Banana prawns are the size of a banana.
They're not that
No,
big.
you're not going to find them in shops. They're the real prawns. So we're in mangrove,
I don't believe that.
we're in places like,
I told you a million times not to exaggerate.
I told you a trillion times to stop saying that sort. So we're in these pristine, like we would go 5-6 days without seeing another human. So the beautiful mangrove systems, I would just go in there with cast nets, and 6 or 7 cast nets, I would fill a bucket with big prawns. And then I'd just only pick the best ones. And then when you get back on, after we've cleaned all the rods and that, you'd sit up onto the top deck with your beers or your bourbons, and out would come, they cook the prawns fresh during the day, and they're frozen down on ice. They were freezing cold because it's so hot up there. And it was like the quicker you could peel, the more you got to eat.
I would be useless. I'm really bad at peeling
we could
prawns.
I could with the fresh ones. I could do that. It's peeled and then eat. And not one of us ever pulled the poo. Well, we said it was we never called it the poo line. It was called the
nutty line.
the peanut butter line, the Google line. I know. What's it? Is it no? What's Nutella? Well, there's another thing like Nutella. I think it was like Google. It's chocolate spread. It was Australian. It wasn't the Nutella.
I don't know.
I think it was called Google. Google it. Anyway,
that's how
that
we
just
got there.
wasted 10 minutes.
I was like, I was trying to figure out why we were talking about your fishing, your past life of being.
Well, I was just trying to get to the end of the story. The
And
person
then-
who could strip the shell and off the
And you
prawn
never-
the quicker
and you
got
didn't
to
take
eat the
the
most
poo
prawns.
So I would get my sister to dish, because I normally like prawns on Christmas Day. It's my favourite part of Christmas. For people that aren't Australian, they always think it's weird because they're like, oh, like that means you have Christmas when it's hot. And I'm like, yeah, and you get prawns on Christmas Day. It's the best part.
Yeah, seafood Christmas.
Oh, so good with the Master Foods cocktail sauce. That with prawns.
No, I make my own.
No.
Master Foods.
The crappy Master Foods cocktail sauce.
It's
is
just
incredible.
mayonnaise and tomato sauce.
No, it's got a distinct flavour.
Yeah, it's called processed men crap.
It's called great.
It'll have sugar and salt in there.
I love
Sugar and salt.
Sugar I'm a bit partial to. Salt will.
Yeah, but so if
Salt
you're
on
not from
everything.
Australia, a good Australian, like we try and do the roast a little bit, try and be a little bit traditional,
A
but
little bit, but it's always,
really it's a
it's
good
normally about,
barbie
like, 30
and
degrees.
yeah, 30 degrees. So a good barbie going with some rissoles
Oh,
and sausages and some lamb chops that you won't eat.
No, I love prawns.
But then you got the prawn bowl,
Always.
and if you're at a really good place, you've normally got a couple of crayfish.
Oh, yum.
And you just, yeah, the cray or so what, I was going to say my family, when I grew up, we more had traditional. We normally had the roasts and everything, because that was back in my grandmother days, and that's with mum. As soon as I moved out from mum and we had kids and we started doing things, our Christmas Day was always seafood. And for a couple of years, I think my son and daughter were sort of like 9, 10, we'd actually book the best seafood well, it wasn't the best, but they had the most seafood.
I remember I went out for Christmas one year, and it was actually really enjoyable going out. Like,
Oh, Sheree, and the kids loved it. We'd go, it was called, back then it was Lobster Cave in Black Rock. I think it was called Lobster Cave. And the lobsters mostly came from China. I don't know where they came from, but it was, you just get,
lobsters in
you get
China.
a seafood platter, which would take the whole table, and you just sit there and eat for 4 hours. The kids loved it. Like, Nikki and Len wouldn't touch the oysters, but they'd eat everything else, so I got to eat all the oysters.
you would have loved that.
Although they always had some Kilpatrick oysters, which Len would eat the Kilpatricks, and Shree liked the Kilpatrick.
I think I could have one of those.
You'd love that. It's bacon and it's cooked, and
Yeah, it's just the texture thing of oysters for me.
yeah, once it's cooked, it's not the same.
Yeah. But
So you
like
eat mussels. Yeah, but cooked oysters is like mussels.
Yes, yeah, I'd eat that.
Yeah,
No,
I find it's really weird. I watch some of our some of the models I've shopped with, which I follow on Insta because they're like so cool. I like following. I don't follow many people at all because Instagram is really only a business page for me. But I like to get in touch with people like Gertruda and some of these models I hardly see. Everywhere she goes, she always starts off with a dozen oysters. So every time she does a food thing, you always see oysters. Is it Kay or Kate's Queensland? Oh, it's daughter. I only shot with her once.
Katie.
Is it Katie?
Katie
She has a daughter?
Oh yeah, Katie Cucas.
Yeah. Whenever you see her out, it's always a plate of oysters.
Yeah.
So I dig those girls that actually understand really good food as a raw oyster. And a bit of peanut butter prawn.
It's just a texture thing for me, but I do love seafood. Like I really do love it. I just can't deal with the texture of oysters. But I'm a weird texture person. Like mushrooms, but I actually don't like the flavour of mushrooms either. But
yeah, I thought I'd educate you at Coco's and try you with different funguses, but you still didn't. That sort of tough, then bite through. I think that's what. It's like fat.
Well, I tried to be a big girl.
You tried to be a big girl. You eat capsicum now.
Roasted red capsicum. I won't eat it raw in a salad.
And you eat surprising asparagus.
Yeah, actually, I really like asparagus.
Yeah, I don't like it. Have you ever had it? No. And it's one of those things I would like. The texture I can see you liking, but the taste, because I still don't get that you don't like olives. Anchovies and you like asparagus, but you don't like olives. That's like weird.
Because,
I'm gonna get you those anchovy stuffed olives, and that'll get you into the taste.
Okay, but olives taste like olives. They don't taste like anchovies.
No, but they go with anchovies.
I've tried them. I tried them again because I'm a big girl now. I try things again.
Oh, that's right. You went in cattle class on a plane.
Yeah, but like, I tried things again. Like I was like, I don't like blue cheese, and I was having a cheese with one of my friends.
Oh, blue cheese!
And she was like,
every American will kill you right now.
Yeah, but then I was like, I don't like it. And I was like, but you know what? I'm willing to give it another go. And I liked a little bit, and then I cut a bigger bit, and I was like, yeah, no, I don't like it.
Yeah, it is a strong cheese, but it's such a nice cheese. But you're not a big Camembert fan.
No, I find Camembert a little bit too bitter, but I like Brie.
Well, see, blue cheese is that softness of those.
The texture I can deal with.
There is a mouldy taste, but that's like beautiful red wine. Like a bit of really nice bit of blue vein cheese, a couple of really nice olives, a couple of anchovies on a plate, and a really nice wine. My God, there's my afternoon, and you're going to go, I'm just going to eat the anchovy.
And drink the wine.
We've only got you halfway there.
No, it's all right. I'll get there. I'm fussy. But no, I try things again now. So, like, I'm willing to try an olive stuff with anchovies. So I try things.
You try things.
Well, because, yeah, like, I think, was I having this conversation with you that your taste buds change? Like,
yeah, of course they do as you get older.
Yeah.
Both my kids hated mushrooms. They both eat them now.
So that's why I try things.
But they said I poisoned them when they were young. Well, we went field picking and we picked mushrooms. Now those mushrooms like the size of a dinner plate. And I know my mushrooms.
Well,
but both of them were sick the next day, but they got car sick driving through the hills up and over the Black Spur. And they blamed that on the mushrooms. I said, well, Sheree and I ate the mushrooms. We didn't get sick. You just got car sick in the back of the seat, so I drove like an idiot.
Actually, there is a certain type of mushroom that I do like.
That's...
I'm not really fond of...
What mushroom's that called?
The magic one.
No, there's a name. Come on. They actually grow up in Linda at the golf course is famous for having it. Psilocybe or something.
Psilocybe? I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know.
Next time we shoot up there, we'll have to go. No, I haven't found it. I don't know if it's a autumn or a spring rain when the mushies come out.
I don't know.
But I did see mushies up there the other day. They're the big red dangerous things that are going to kill you.
We don't eat those ones. I don't know.
If it's going to kill you, if you microdosed it and tiny, well, blowfish is going to kill you. But they reckon if they put the tiniest bit of the poison of blowfish, so your mouth gets a tingle, you don't die, and it's supposed to be the best flavour ever. I don't know. I don't know if I'd ever. I don't know if I trust
like
food.
I don't know if I'd even trust picking my own. I'd rather someone else pick them and then just...
So you trust me picking them?
Yeah.
Well, you know I'm a horticulturist, so
Yeah, so
I've already
trust
looked
you.
up to see which ones.
But I trust random people that are like, this is fine.
And for anybody who think that we're psychedelic drug fiends, we're not.
We're not.
There's a thing that's very, very big in America and Canada. In Canada, it's fully legal, and it's a thing called microdosing, and it's very, very small doses of Pacific mushrooms.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get you high. It doesn't. But what does it turns your brain on? And a lot
really
of
good. They're doing a lot of studies actually about it.
well,
too,
Microsoft in all the Microsoft staff get it supplied for them because there's a whole thing about it. How it just
changes,
relaxes your
alters your brain.
to think properly.
Yeah.
It just like reconnects everything.
Yeah.
You don't get any high off it. I know that we were introduced to it by a guy in LA, and at first I was thinking, psychedelics, and with my brain, no, you're going to kill me.
Yeah.
I'm going to run around with a knife and kill things.
But it's like a natural antidepressant.
It's a natural and it's like it breaks an inhibitor. It stops the things inhibiting you to do things.
It's cool. They're doing a lot more studies on it to treat people with depression.
Well, now it's fully legal in Canada. Like you can go online, but as soon as you go to buy it, it says, "Oh, you're not in Canada. Go away." If you're in America, you can buy it from Canada.
I think it's really cool.
And they have 3 different levels of microdosing. They say newbies have this amount, and once you've been doing it for a couple of years, you need to go to this amount, which is only it's like 50 grams, 100 grams, 150. So it's only very tiny increments, micrograms or whatever it is. Because you're not supposed to, it's not about getting you high, it's supposed to get your brain open.
Yeah.
And to me, I sort of think all of this, and then Joe Rogan has done lots of podcasts on it. And when I got onto YouTube and Googled it, the information I found out, and that's where I found out that a lot of the Microsoft staff had supplied.
That's really cool.
But it's because they've actually said it's an antidepressant, and nobody's ever died of this. Whereas people die of alcohol all the time. People die because of smoking. So we've got these legal drugs that kill us, and then there's these illegal drugs. Like, I'm not a big on dope. It just makes me freaking paranoid. I just can't do it. Like in my life, I'd have a joint or something once every 5 or 6 months when I was smoking. And when I stopped smoking, I said, nah, I'm never putting anything in my mouth again. But it was coolish, but it was never, I'd never say I'd loved it.
I did for a while when I was younger. I was a little bit unhinged back then, but I don't anymore. I can't anymore. It just makes you too paranoid.
Yeah, I got so paranoid. I went stupid when I was about.
I think it was about enough anxiety. I don't need more.
I think I was about 19, and a month straight I did cones and bongs with mates. I was in a band which were heavy smokers, and all of a sudden I couldn't walk down a street.
Yeah.
People looking at me and saying, "You're a stoner. You don't know me. Stop looking at me like this." And I was like freaking out. And the cars would drive past me when I was walking down the street and go, "They know I'm a stoner."
Yeah.
And no, I can't do this.
It's super the paranoia is real. But I think...
But nobody dies.
No one dies from it.
From marijuana. Like, there's people that shouldn't take it. People have schizophrenia.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
There is certain people that should never take it. And the smoking, so if you're smoking with tobacco, of course, the tobacco is going to do the damage. And if you did 40 cones a day every day, I think you're going to do lung damage.
Probably.
But the actual what I believe, so disclaimer, I'm not a doctor, but disclaimer I know people who've died of alcoholic problems, and I definitely know people who died because of smoking. I can't tell you anybody I know who have died from something like mushrooms or...
I don't think it's possible to die from it.
Well, it is if you eat the wrong one.
Oh, well that, but like...
There is mushrooms that will kill you very quickly. There was a thing when I was really young, there's a thing called I shouldn't say this because don't. Trumpet lilies just kill. But there was like four or five kids that went to... There's 4 or 5 kids that went to Blackburn Lake and boiled them up and drank it as tea, and all of them died.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like really bad. And it actually stopped anybody else from ever doing it. Like it was like this urban myth about you get the best high ever. And when this happened, it was like everyone said, no, you only go one way.
Well, I was gonna.
Oh, this is a photography podcast, by the way. Anyway, keep going.
No, it's not. We never said it is. It's like Friday
I'm joking.
after
We haven't spoken about we've spoken about food. And we did one movie.
Yeah.
So we're on track.
We're on track. Talking.
And we're drinking.
And we're talking smack.
And the sound will be shit because of this wind, but suck it up.
I was going to say that like if something's like things like mushies that are natural and it's like a natural antidepressant, that to me is so much better than like taking all these chemicals and like taking like antidepressants that are prescribed by the doctor.
Yeah, well, I've been listening to. Sorry, I'm mentioning Joe Rogan. I'm not.
You love him.
I'm liking. I do like the way that he steps.
You've come around.
No, I didn't hate him because I never know who he was. I never ever listened to anything. I thought he was just some wanker interviewing superstars.
No.
But now I've listened to his stuff. He interviews everybody, and some of the people you can see at 180 degrees the opposite to him, and he can still interview them. He can still let them have their say. And he is 180% against whatever they said, but he still lets them have their say, and he doesn't have the final word. He leaves them to have I think that's so clever of him.
Yeah, he's a ledge.
Which is, to me, he's letting... And I'm sitting here going, Joe, kill him. You can't say that without... You're giving this stuff that has backup, like, scientific evidence. And this person said I just believe this is how it is.
Yeah, you would crack it.
That would crack me.
you would crack it.
But I do love it. He did have, the one I didn't love, and I'm happy to say, the owner of Rolling Stone magazine, sorry, you are as bad as you have a thing against Fox and all of those because of being biased. You've got the opposite bias. But then when he did the thing with Roger Waters from Floyd, Nick Waters. Yeah, I might have fucked up. Anyway, whichever Waters. Amazing. This guy, that Waters, yeah. Fiji Waters. That guy, he's very, very left, very, very Labour, because that's how he was brought up because his mum and his dad. But his mum said, you do not comment on anything till you study the other side and know everything from the other side of the argument, then you know your argument. Until you know that, don't say anything. And he was so clever with, his views are amazing. I actually have a lot of time for him, and I could see Joe Rogan he didn't speak much because just listening to this legend, and it doesn't matter if you're red or blue or left or right, he was so accurate with learn your argument, learn your opposition's argument, then you can argue. Yeah. And until you actually know both sides of the story, shut up.
Yeah.
Because you're just being biased.
I guess that's why I don't like arguing. I don't like arguing in general. But
I know because I'm a bit opinionated, just a little bit, and every now and then, Bec's way out is, I don't want to talk about this anymore. And it's sort of like, oh, so you not letting me finish my argument by, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Because the only reason I want to talk about more is I don't feel that I've put my view across. It's not like I don't want to change your view, I just want you to understand my view.
Yeah, but I do that because I feel like I'm trying to get my view across, but you're just like harping on yours. And I understand where you're coming from, and I'm trying to get my view across, and then it just feels like it's going nowhere, and that's why I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. It's going nowhere. It's a dead conversation.
I think it's a me. I think it's a me thing because most people don't realise you don't have to say much. I fully understand your view.
Yeah. But I understand.
But I tend to find that people don't understand my view. I'm not saying that your view is right or wrong. No, I'm just saying, understand my view, I understand your view, and then that's where I want to leave it.
Well, that's the thing, like I do, a lot of the time I do understand where you're coming from. I might not agree with it, but I understand. But then I'm just, and this is, when I say I don't want to talk about it, it's because I feel like we're just going around in circles. Like, I've said my piece and you understand, and you've said your piece and I understand, and then we're just like sitting and we're just bickering and we're getting angry, and that's why I'm like, oh, I'm not talking about it, because we're just getting angry here. So that's...
We're sounding like a... By the way, we're not married. We're not a couple.
Not a couple.
Someone even asked us the other day, yes, no. Even, Bec has a boyfriend who should be a fiancé,
Well, he might be
but
next year.
hopefully he listens to this podcast. Marry this girl. 9 years, come on.
Stop. I think next year.
He won't listen to it anyway, so...
But what if people tell him? No, I think...
Well, he still should.
No.
9 years.
Not 9 years yet.
When's it 9 years?
Technically on New Year's Eve, but officially in March.
All right, in a month and a bit, it's 9 years. Technically.
But
She's getting embarrassed.
Officially.
She thinks she knows when she's going to get engaged.
I think so.
Yeah, don't you dare send me the message. We're now not in this country and it didn't happen.
I'm not proposing to him.
You need to.
No.
I seriously. Then
I
you can
want
have
the
your.
fairy tale.
No, you can have your ring you want. Go out and buy it with his money and say, "You will marry me." Not will you? You just say,
will.
"You will marry
Here
me."
we go.
This is the
mine.
ring.
That would actually be really funny.
That's why I reckon you should do it.
No, I'm not going to do that. No,
But
I want
so-
to be a princess.
with
I'm not
my-
a princess, I'm a queen. I've graduated.
You graduate.
I'm a
With my wife, we'd started dating when we were 17. I know, it's really disgusting. It's horrible. So, like, who would do that? But
What?
I think when we were about 22,
Who would marry Cherie? It's really
no,
Is that what you were
me still being with someone I dated when I was 17. We met in a caravan park. Like, come on. We're like trailer trash. Like,
That's cute. I love it.
anyway.
Even though
so
she's ruined your
we're,
white shirt.
we're driving to, we had a gig, we were supporting Pseudo Echo, so people in Australia know who we're talking about, everyone in the rest of the world.
Lots of people actually on YouTube were saying like, oh my god, Pseudo Echo.
Really? Well, they had one hit wonder, which was a rip off of Funky Town.
Did they not do Funky Town?
That's not their song. It's an old song. It's an old
Really?
Motown song. Yeah.
I thought
So
it was
no, it's not their song. They had the Sin drums, and they did a good cover version. It was, but we were supporting for a good 6 months, and we're driving to a place called Geelong, which is a good hour and a half from Melbourne, and we lived the other side. Well, I lived the other side of Melbourne, so it was about 2.5 hours, and I picked Cherie up from work in the city. We just went and stayed the night down there. So we're driving down there, and there's a little like ring box, and I put a bit of sticky tape, and I'm in a truck because I had all the band gear in the truck, and the truck's got a massive big dash, and I stuck it on there, and there's a little bow flower on top of it, and we drove down 3/4 of the way down there. Cherie's there, and tears start coming out of her eyes, and she looks at me and she goes, "What's the box?" I said, "It's not yours. Stop looking at it." And tears are pouring out of her eyes at this stage. And she couldn't take it anymore, and she just pulled the box off and opened it. So I didn't propose to her, she proposed to herself.
Oh my god. Well, everyone might meet not Peter, you're Peter. Everyone might meet Cherie and Jared in Bali, maybe.
Yeah, we'll do a podcast in Bali and then get to meet our partners.
Yeah, we'll do that. You
And
guys
then we'll
can meet
stop
them.
getting people who insinuate that we only have partners so we can have an affair. What was that? Somebody said the other day something like along,
it was
stop
something-
using your partner to cover up your real life.
Something like that, or something about like, oh well, they're not there, or just because you have that doesn't
Sorry,
stop
we
anything.
don't have your brain.
So disgusting.
I'm
Say I'm unhinged. That is unhinged. That's disgusting.
I'm monochrome.
Monochrome. No,
I can't handle one woman, so I could never have I could never have mistress or sex. I can't handle one I've got.
I love the one you've got though. She's very special.
She's very special.
Very special.
There's a bus in Australia called the Special Bus, and they lick the windows.
They're strawberry flavoured.
They're strawberry flavoured windows.
But no, we'll do that when we're in Bali. Because we're heading up to Bali. So we're here and we've got another full day of shooting tomorrow. And then we have to leave.
Tomorrow, last day.
Yeah, our last full
We're gonna-
day.
I must admit, we'll get on the photography 1 second. I found it really hard here because it's so easy.
Yeah.
So I know very early morning, but Rara and Beck don't get out of bed till midday.
Shh, stop it. I'm getting up early.
Well, even if tomorrow or Friday, if we can do it really early, it's like there's no wind, it's dead flat, the sun's over there and just glows everywhere.
So do you...
And in the water, you'll be able to do your hot water picture.
Yeah, but do you think if I'm getting up not at 6 a.m, I'm getting up at midday?
No, but the sun's like midday. So it goes 6, 7, 8, horrible.
I was up at 7 yesterday and I had breakfast, which I don't normally do.
I know.
And I was up at 10 past 8
and you
with
flew
no...
in cattle class.
I know, and I was...
Hey, you didn't complain. No, you just did.
I did. And I was up at 10 past 8 with no alarm today. So you cannot tell me that I am sleeping until midday.
No,
I'm keeping
joking.
timestamps.
You're keeping his timestamp.
I know.
So, Rara, let's go to breakfast at 8 o'clock. And at 5 to 8, I walked up to your room to hand you back your key so I could get my key back.
Well,
You stole my key. My key is something in Australia, isn't it?
My key, yes, for the trains.
Anyway. And I got to their room and it's like crickets. I can't hear any. I'm not knocking on the door. Went back and did some more work.
Well,
and then Rara texted me 20 past 8.
Well, I never said I was coming for breakfast.
I think she's drowned.
No, I saw her walking.
You sure?
Yeah.
There's a black thing floating over there.
No, I saw her walking into our room.
You sure?
I'm positive.
Is it bad to shoot drowned people in bikinis? Can we just do a Gia and lay a... Are you going to go on the rocks over there?
Yes.
Well, that's a morning.
All right. Well, I'll get up tomorrow morning.
It's either late tomorrow night or early tomorrow morning or early Friday morning.
I will try.
In fact, early tomorrow morning, because it's low tide, you can walk a long way out.
Yeah, cool. We'll do that. Sorry, we're
Beck in the morning. Oh, I don't know how I'm going to get a picture of Beck in the morning.
No, I'll do it.
Maybe don't go to sleep and just drink all night.
All right.
Oh, you didn't argue with that.
It's probably safer that way.
Anyway, getting back to it, I'm finding like middle of the day it's easy. Just drop them under any palm tree.
Yeah.
I'm getting bounce off the sand and I get a beautiful picture. In the morning, the sun's coming from this way. I can tend to get a nice shot. Late in the evening, the sun's over there. I backlit and Beck's already loves the backlit. And then when the sun drops right down the horizon, Beck absolutely loves the golden glow. Rara hates it. But if I switch Rara around so the light's behind her, then she loves it. What else do I do?
It's too easy.
It's like you seriously, you've seen the video, even the videos we've done of you and Rara, and you've seen your photos. Like, how beautiful are they?
It's stunning, but it's like it's hard to take a bad photo here. Like it's hard. I mean, I'm sure.
I know. So how do I teach anybody anything?
Well, so like I said to you, because when we were filming, and I was like, I think we were filming for Inspire, and I was trying to like lead you more towards like, can you actually teach something? Because you're just shooting and you're not really teaching anything.
Well, I did. I told them what my shutter was. I think I told them what lens I had on.
People need to like actually learn, but you were like, but it's just so easy. Like,
but this is why, and we spoke about this a little, so we're actually talking business now, direct to public. So remember when we first got here, I said, should we run a 5-day workshop here?
We could, but like, what are you going to teach for 5 days? Because...
But they're going to get beautiful shots.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it could teach. We just need models who are happy to get up in the morning.
Yeah.
Because there's a completely different light that you haven't seen.
I'm not.
But like any time of the day here, as long as I've got the palm trees, I can shoot anything. Any time of the day I can shoot here without a problem, get a gorgeous picture. And if we weren't like if we didn't have this wall behind a few other things, we went to something like Cook Islands or that, which was really somewhere to go. I just don't know how many people would want that experience, but it would be, they would get their best pictures ever.
But we've been thinking about doing this not even here. We were talking about doing
Canary Islands.
Canary Islands or Greek Islands.
Greek Islands, yeah.
Or something, and make it into like the full experience. So we don't know if people would be interested in that, but we would do it so like we cover cost of like obviously like the workshop thing, but then like accommodation and meals and then people pay for their flights? Or do you
Yeah,
reckon
no, we'd have package and once they land,
Yeah.
except for alcohol,
Yeah.
like I do with you, stuff that costs me. No,
That's included in my wage.
That's clearing your wage.
It's how I deal with you.
So what do the Fijians say?
Bula.
Bula. Bula!
Bula.
So friendly in Fiji.
So
We just
lovely.
had a golf cart go past with a lovely guy in it who bullied us.
Everyone is so friendly. They're so nice. And they remember our names.
I can't believe it. We walked up and they knew all our names the next day.
I know.
I can't remember somebody's name in an hour.
I know, that's why you have me. But yeah, we went for breakfast when we first got here, and then the next day we go for breakfast and she remembered all of our names. I was like,
Yeah, I know. It's
skills.
Not my skills.
I know, I'm pretty good at it. I'm pretty good with I don't know, sometimes I am and sometimes I'm not. I normally have to find something to associate them with, and then I can remember their name. So that's why on work.
Well, that's why the one model in America I could remember.
Bella.
It's my dog's called Bella. But I told her that, so she didn't punch me for that.
But normally, so when we do something like the 5-day or even 3-day workshops, people that come to all days of workshop, I'll normally they'll tell me their name and I'll try and remember. I'll look at something they're wearing and be like, oh, that's this person who's wearing this coloured shirt, and then I'll start repeating that.
Hawaiian shirt, Bill.
But then I just try and. But then the next day they come and they're wearing something different, and I'm like, oh god, what were their names? But no, I'm normally pretty good at remembering names. I'm better at faces than names, but I'm all right. But yeah, as we were saying, we were thinking about
it mightn't be. We're just trying to suss out because our demographic has definitely changed since YouTube and COVID.
Which I'm really happy about.
No, it's really good.
I
In
really
fact,
like it.
there'll be a few people that are very unhappy with my next statement, but we run a thing that used to be our most popular thing to run, which is Portfolio Builder. And we've realised that people don't want that anymore. So we're running Portfolio Builder. Everybody just wanted to learn. They didn't want to just shoot, because we set up 3 girls in the morning, 3 girls in the afternoon, 2 different looks for each girl in the morning, 2 to 3 different looks in the afternoon. So they walk away with 12 completely different looks. And there's their portfolio. But we found this year in Australia, the one we just did, everyone just wanted to learn. They weren't that interested in shooting for their portfolio. They more wanted to learn so they could go out and do it tomorrow.
I had models coming out to me being like,
nobody's shooting me.
So am I finished? And I was like, well, has everyone shot you? And
everyone's just following me.
I know.
So which is actually what I want. That's 100% where I want. Yeah. And we found in America the same. The people that come to our American workshops are some of the best. So the latest Europe and American workshops by far were the most enjoyable for me to do because I actually felt people were there to learn. They just didn't want a pretty picture of a girl who would never normally shoot with them. Yeah. They actually wanted to know how they could go out tomorrow and do it themselves.
And it's also, it makes my life easier as well because I don't have to be the nasty person being like, stop shooting. I always hate it when I have to do that. I've got to go up and be like, sorry, I need you to hurry up. I hate that. I feel like a nasty person because they've paid money and they're there and they want to take photos. And I feel nasty, but I'm like, I need you to hurry up. I'm never that nasty though.
No, you're never nasty. You're nasty to me. But anyway, with that, and you're welcome to give us feedback. Please send us emails if you've got your own opinions. But we are going to be cutting back on Portfolio Builders pretty much gone. We've got one more which is practically sold out anyway. It's not what I'm about. Portfolio Builder to me is guy with camera. A little bit. He's going to fill a portfolio. He's going to have amazing pictures for himself. He's going to get models who are happy to work with him. But I'd rather teach someone so they have their look, not the lighting I set up. They've learned enough to say, yeah, Peter does this and I love what Peter does, but
I'm gonna do it
I like the light slightly more this way or slightly more this way, which gives them their look.
Which I'm fine
and
with.
Then the model goes, I love your look. So the model's actually shooting with the person who created.
Yeah. Whereas I'm finding that a lot more with everyone we've met this year. or people that we've seen again this year, I'm finding that a lot with them is that, like, you'll do a lighting and you'll be like, so I love this. And they'll be like, yeah, it's nice. I would prefer it like this. And you're like, that's cool.
That's
Exactly.
Fine. That's exactly what I want you to do.
And I'm finding that more and more that people are like, I like what
well,
you've done.
I did the last one we did in Melbourne. I said you could shoot it this way and turn it this way, and I said to them, so every one of you will have a different one you favourite.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to tell you what your favourite is. You need to say, I like contrasty, I like flat, I like this, and that's going to be. I'm just going to giving you the skills to know how to move the light to get your look.
Exactly.
But
and I think it's like one of the things I advertise when we host a workshop is I say one of the things that you will learn is finding your style, and I feel like that is the best way to find your style is look at what Peter does and tell him if it's shit house or if it's awesome.
So the one thing we're looking at doing is we'll most likely always run a 5-day workshop in Melbourne.
Yeah.
Because you're in my space with my models.
It's just, it flows. Because
it flows. And it's
it's
the very best teaching experience I can do. Because I'm so comfortable in my space. And I can get in big studios all around the world, but you got no back rats. You don't have any V flats. You don't have any of this. You don't.
And Cherie does the catering. Peter's
my wife's a chef, so yeah.
She cooks lasagna, and every time I get her to make lasagna, the lasagna, everyone's always like, "This is the best lasagna on it." I know.
All right.
So I asked her to make it. Anyway,
no, it's cool. But the reason we're here is number one, we are shooting content, and we're shooting educational content, which I think we've pretty much nailed nearly all of it. Maybe we'll do a night one with Bec, but we're going to do content to show off the models. That's more where I'm looking at for the next 2 days, is actually really show.
If anyone drops not a model in the comments, I'm going to freaking punch them.
Hashtag not a model.
I wish I never started that.
Well, you can do hashtag not a photographer. Hashtag not a photographer, Peter.
How about we just hashtag nothing and just don't do it
They'll
anymore?
do hashtag nothings then.
Oh my God, I wish I never started it.
Hashtag I like her.
I'm done with it.
You're done with it.
I'm done with it.
But everyone's started to stop. They stopped the hashtag not a model, but they haven't stopped about you two are a couple.
Oh, I know. Why can they stop that as well?
Yeah, please stop that, because if I swapped, I should swap you with my daughter one day. Why don't we do one so they see that I'm exactly the same with you as I am with my daughter? So much the same. Would you say?
Yeah, 100%.
100% talk to you exactly the same as I talk to my daughter.
It's like the way you answer the phone is even the same. Like, Nikki calls and you pick up the phone and go, "What did you break?"
What did you break? What do you want?
If I call, it's the same. Like, yeah, what did you break? What do you want?
What do you want?
I know sometimes I know if you're a bit crabby because it's like, "Yup."
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, what have I done to
Do I do yup?
Sometimes you're like, yep.
Oh,
like, no.
I never mean yup.
No, that's how I know you're really crabby. Like the little crabbies on the beach.
The crabbies, the fast running crabbies. And the little froggies.
Oh, the froggies. Should we lick one?
Homer reckons they're really good. There is, no. When I went down the psychedelic thing, no. There is some people that collect this poison gland. I think the cane toads in Australia might be, but I think it kills dogs and birds and snakes. That's why they're going crazy. Snakes eat frogs.
You killed a snake, didn't you?
I know. I feel so sorry about that.
You didn't kill it.
Yes, I did. I took it to the vet and had him murder it. And I carried it back and buried it. I dharmed it. I buried it in the backyard. Oh, did he eat it?
Yeah, Dharma ate people.
Oh, that's right, he did too.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you didn't Dharma it?
No, I just buried it in the backyard.
That was, I think that was Ed Gein. Oh no, I think he ate people too.
He ate people too.
Me and my
Do they eat their poo line? Do they get in there with a fork and pull a poo line out before they eat them?
I don't know. Maybe we'll call
Can we look up someone who eats people and see if they remove the poo line?
See if it's nutty.
It's nutty. Yeah, I want to know if it's nutty.
I think we're a bit nutty in the head. We've had too many poo lines.
I did there was one big prawn I had, and it had a really big line. I removed it and ate it and thought,
You removed it and then ate it.
I didn't eat what I removed. I ate the prawn without it.
I thought you meant you removed it and then ate what you removed.
And I thought, well, it didn't taste any different, so why fuck around with so why mess around and do that?
You can either swear.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, but see, I like prawns different. My favourite way of eating prawns is you get some vinegar, you peel them, you just dip in the vinegar, and then on a nice biscuit, put it on a biscuit and eat. And it's that like vinegar fight. Yeah, it's really cool. Haven't you seen me eat prawns?
No,
We always have a little bowl of vinegar, and you just dip them in the vinegar and put it. It takes it to the next level.
I really want prawns.
One of the boats, we were on the boat coming out of Weipa. And I said, do you have any vinegar on board? He goes, yeah. I said, can I get a little dish of vinegar? And he saw me do it and goes, what are you doing? I said, try it. The next year we went on the boat, the first thing they bring out, the vinegar bowls. And they tell everyone, now have a prawn without the vinegar, but the vinegar brings the flavour of the prawn out. It really does. It enhances. Another thing I was told, which is not good for your heart, is have a dish of salt and you just dip this prawn in salt and it takes the prawn to the next level. It's like MSGing as prawn.
Salt and vinegar. Jared always has to go at me for the amount of salt I put on things.
Oh, my dad was terrible.
I freaking love salt.
I had dinner with my dad's brother around about Christmas time and met up with him, and he's like 80 odd, and Nikki, my daughter, and I are watching as both him and his wife put salt, and it was like, are you going to stop? It's already got white snow. It's looking like, what's that? They sprinkle on cakes that icing sugar. It looked like icing sugar over his.
I'm not that bad, but like I'm still pretty. So like if I do like roast veggies or something, I put olive oil, salt, pepper, maybe like a bit of garlic powder, some mixed herbs, a little pinch of chili flakes. It's already got salt and pepper on it, and then I bring it out, and then I put more salt on mine after we dish up. And I do the same with chips. Like before I use like oven chippies.
Oven chippies.
But I will like still season the oven chippies, and then after they come out, they still have more salt.
I need to give you a little jar of what I've got at home.
What is it?
MSG.
Strong.
MSG is like salt on steroids. It just brings flavour out. It's supposed to be bad for you. I didn't look up how. I don't do it very often. There's certain foods you just sprinkle a bit of MSG over the top of it afterwards, and it like.
This is supposed to be bad for you as well.
Do you know? I heard that oxygen is bad.
Everything's bad.
No, if you keep breathing, one day you'll die. If you stop breathing, you'll never die from oxygen.
Hilarious.
Hairy ass. Yes.
No, everything's going to kill you. You may as well just have fun.
We all want to live as long as we can, but at the same time, we want to enjoy life. And I think if you a little bit of salt, and if you like a little bit of butter, and I listened to this dietitian the other day, and he said like everyone was canning eggs and like dairy, and it turns out it's really, really good for you. But butter is bad for you. But there's something like double cream, whip it more, it becomes butter. But double cream will sink where butter will float in water. And he said there's something when you take it that next level which makes it not as good for you, but he goes, gee, it tastes good.
Well, it's like when my mum got really sick a few years ago, and she had to have major surgery, like 10 hours on an operating table. And you know what?
What did you do to her?
She had a cyst on her
were you after her money early? Did you start poisoning her?
No, I don't want to lose count. No, she had a cyst on her pancreas, and she had to have a Whipple's operation, which is a 10-hour operation. And I didn't realise at the time. She only recently told me only 25% of people survived that operation.
Oh, you wouldn't have survived the operation if she had told you.
I know, that's why she didn't tell me. But she's fine. And then like after she had that, she recovered and she felt good. She was like so strict about like everything she ate. She didn't have alcohol. She didn't have a cigarette. Like she was completely like did everything right, and then went for a 6-month checkup, and she had another cyst on the other end of her pancreas. And I just remember it broke her because she was like, I've tried to do everything right. I've tried to be healthy, and I've gone without things, and I've done all of this, and for what? There's this, and she's like, screw it, I don't care. And I remember she got home from that appointment, we was going from the results, and the first thing she did was lit up a cigarette and poured herself a vodka. And she was like, screw it, whatever.
We do not endorse smoking or drinking on this channel.
She was like, so what? Like, I've done everything right and I've still got another cyst. So I may as well just enjoy myself because shit's gonna happen.
Ching, ching, ching. Well, our alarm's gone off, but I'll just finish off on that.
On my notice, enjoy yourself.
There's a lot of people that I know that my nan loved her beer. And every single day in her entire life, she would drink one long neck bottle of beer and she'd have her first glass about 4 o'clock in the afternoon and have her last while she ate. And she lived to 88. She was never in hospital once in all of that time.
Yeah.
She was always happy. Then look at other people that were so strict about diet and then they seem to get always sick, always in hospital. I think a lot of it comes down to mental state. I think if you can put your mental state into a good place, and yeah, there's certain things like you shouldn't smoke, and Bec's gone. You only had what, 1 cigarette since we've been here?
I've had 2.
2. So see, she's getting better.
And it's Wednesday.
Right.
And we got
so
here.
There's if I was to say to Bec every day, give up smoking, give it, she'd never do it. But you let people get the hate and they'll change.
I've been vaping.
Yeah, but it doesn't. You don't smell like ashtrays.
I smell like light cheese.
You smell like light cheese.
Flavour. Snorts.
We'll work on the vape later.
No.
Oh, sorry, I do have to do this. So we get on the plane. We may have spent a little bit too much time in the club before we got on the plane. Bec gets on the plane. She sits down. We're not ready for taxiing and that. We're 4 wide because Bec booked us the worst seats we could have. There's 4 of us in a row. And halfway through the flight, I had Bec dribbling on one of my shoulders and Rara was dribbling on my other shoulder. Anyway, we get on the plane, Bec sits, and then just pulls the vape out and goes, on the plane. I cannot believe you did that. And the lady next to you just pissed herself and Rara next to me is going, what in the fuck are you? What in the F are you doing? What in the beep are you doing?
Oh my God. I just forgot where I was.
Obviously.
Well, because I'm just so used to like walking around
The
my
worst thing
house.
I ever did was tell you about Frank's trick about vaping on a plane.
We won't share that trick with anyone else.
No, you never pull your blanket over your head while you're sitting in your seat and vape under a blanket.
I haven't done that. I just don't even put anything over my head. I apparently just blow clouds.
Well, you did this time.
Idiot.
You could have got kicked off for life.
I know. With my
I
gold
could have been
stickers.
here and you wouldn't have got one of the beautiful pictures we've got. You should see some of the stunning pictures we got of
They
her.
will.
It doesn't even look like Bec. It's so pretty. It's not even.
Anyways, I want to go to the
our
swim
time's
bar.
gone up. You want to go? Bec wants to go to the swim up bar. I won't tell you what she does in there, but we're going to go to the bar.
In my Tommy Hilfiger.
You need to bring the other top so you can drop it. I'll take a camera.
Yeah, I'll do that. All right, we're going to go create more
See ya.
content.
Hopefully, just quick disclaimer. You can't go yet. Sit. Boo-boo. If the sound's bad, sorry, but we like sitting out here in the wind.
Yeah.
Next thing is, see ya.
Bye.